All right, big series, big sweep, 9 in a row overall. We got series breakdown coming up. We're going to talk about the first month of the season, give out some progress reports. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let's get into it. This is rjcarbone, and you're listening to BD4.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down. This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the RJ Barrett does it again from downtown. He is just tearing the Orioles apart. It's good. Randall gets the bounce, and he ties the game. Houston ducks under. Got it. With 8 tenths left.
Up and ran. Slam the other way for Aaron Judge.
Penetrates, creates, and showing some dexterity as well with the left hand.
Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right. Well, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to episode 362 of BD4. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. And we also do MMA now, too. Yanks every series, Knicks every game. MMA on the weekends. We've got a big pay-per-view coming up next weekend. 274 with some pretty stacked fights. Pretty stacked card with some big fights. So look forward to, there might be a preview for that, but there probably is going to be more. I know I'm going to have a recap. I might do a preview depending on how busy I am. I'm very busy. I'm going to be very busy these next few weeks, but I'm going to be talking Yankees, obviously, in this episode 362. Going to go over the Kansas City Royals sweep. I'm a bit tired. It's late for me. Fortunately, I don't have anything Monday morning, but I do have something Monday afternoon. So I want to be able to get some sleep, and it's late here as I record. It's past midnight Sunday, so it's technically Monday morning as I speak. And as you're listening, it should also be Monday the 2nd of May. So I don't want to waste any time. I kind of just want to get into the episode. We'll dive into it right now. No need to even go to break. We'll save our first break for later. But the Yankees took a pretty big series. Not a big series, but a pretty, I don't know where I was going with that. They took another series. All right, they swept their third consecutive team. And they continue to do what they're supposed to do. All right, and I've said this before, and I want to make this clear again. While I very heavily will always criticize the Yankees for losing and not living up to their standards at times, when they win, if you pay attention to me, I'm fair. I give them credit. And right now, I'm very satisfied. I cannot complain one bit. And you're going to know that. You're going to find that out if you stick around for the second half of the episode when we go over the progress reports. Because I'm going to be fair. And the Yankees, the start they're off to, how could you not be fair and give them a little bit of credit for what they're doing? But let's talk about this series in particular, because it was a good one. And we'll start with the first game of the set, which took place on, Friday? The Friday night game? Which that was game 1 Friday night. But it's good to have 3 consecutive sweeps. A little bit of concern. I was listening to Talking Yanks. He made a good point. I was thinking about it at the time. A little punty, right? We did sit a guy every game. I forget who it was who sat game 1, but games 2 and 3 was Judge, then Rizzo. Kind of doing what we did a lot last year when we went up against bottom feeders and getaway games. We put out, not our full strength lineup. Could have lost some of these games if it wasn't the Kansas City Royals, to be honest. They are a rough team. They're not great defensively. They're not great at the plate. But, I guess the positive is that the Yankees this season have the depth to overcome that. They've got the lineup, they've got the rotation, and they've got a strong bullpen. But Friday night, the Yankees took this one 12-2. It was Nestor Cortes going up against Bubic. Top of the first inning, right away, Anthony Rizzo and Giancarlo Stanton going back-to-back. Again, as I've been saying for a bit now, this top of the order for the Yankees is something. When you go DJ, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, that is something. And they're all hitting right now. It's 3-0 Yankees after 1. Bottom of the first, the Royals do answer back a little bit when Salvador Perez, who they showed that he had 48 home. I don't know how I didn't know that. He had 48 home runs last season. Like, Yankees fans wanted to talk about how much power and how incredible Gary Sanchez was when Gary's this 20 home run guy. Sal Perez had 48 home runs. He hits an RBI double in the bottom of the first. It's 3-1. Bottom of the second, Royals chipping away a little bit. 3-2. Michael Taylor rips an RBI single, but that'd be as close as they get. Nestor Cortes would shut them down from there. He finishes after 5 innings, lets up 8 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 runs. Only one of them was earned. He didn't have it. It was probably his worst outing in terms of having it, but he still found a way to turn it into a very productive effort. And they always say that's what the better pitchers do. And the more Nestor Cortes pitches, the more I'm buying Nestor Cortes as a real legitimate thing. Top of the 7th in this game, DJ LeMahieu with the RBI single, and then Judge follows that up with a home run. 7-2 Yankees. Top of the 8th is when we really put this game out of reach. Gleyber Torres a home run. Higashioka an RBI double. It's 12-2 Yankees. I may have said that backwards. Didn't Judge hit the 3-run shot to make it 12-2? I don't know. May have put that down wrong on my notes. But overall, 12 runs, 11 hits, 2 walks, just 7 strikeouts. We go 4 for 9 in scoring position. You know, a lot of hard hit balls early on in this one, indicating that the explosion was coming. And it did. Just took a little later to happen. Pitching-wise, again, Cortes was great. Love what I'm seeing from Nestor so far. Lasagna, Green, Litke follow up with 3 innings of shutout baseball. And so the Yankees won the game. This was the Apple TV game. I had to get myself a subscription, at least the free trial. But it's only like $5 a month to get this game. And I didn't know it was going to be an entire Apple TV booth. I thought it was going to be like on Amazon Prime when they just had the game on Prime, but it was still the Yes booth. No, this was interesting. It was full on Apple TV. The score bug was different. Everything was like transparent. The camera angles were pretty cool. They had the whole 4K thing going. Some of it I liked. The announcing, I don't know. Not really talking about the game a whole lot. Chris Young, which he had a little stint with the Yankees. I liked him. Also a former Royal. Was there. He was in the booth. It was weird because like they were showing the 4-man outfield shift, which is something most baseball fans know by now. I don't like it, but I know about it. And Chris Young, apparently he's never seen it before. I was like, dude, buddy, this has been going for maybe 4 years. Yeah, he was like completely thrown off by it, and I don't know, that kind of just like shocked me. Like, shouldn't you know that? And then there was like at the end of the game, excuse me, for a good 5 minutes, or maybe it felt like 5 minutes, but it was like a little excessive. And I understand its history and all that, but they minimized the Yankee game. And they minimized the shit out of it. I mean, I'm talking top right corner, barely see it. And they had the Met game on because they were throwing their little combined no-hitter. And I can get into a whole rant about that. I don't. Listen, it's a no-hitter technically, but I don't consider it a no-hitter. Like, it's not as impressive as one pitcher throwing a no-hitter. And I know the shtick will probably be, well, you throw that many guys, not all of them are bound to be on, so it's more impressive now. Mets fans will probably go with that narrative, but no. I mean, you have one guy, you have to consider stamina and, facing the lineup 4 times. That's more impressive. I mean, I just don't. The whole combined no-hitter, especially since they didn't just use a couple pitchers, they used 5 different pitchers. It doesn't do it for me. I can't call it a no-hitter. You can have a little asterisk next to it and still call it a no-hitter with an asterisk, but I'm not going to call that a no-hitter the same as I do when Johan Santana did it for them. But yeah, that was a little weird. But the Apple TV thing, it was so-so for me. It could have been better, could have been worse. But the game was eventually called after 8 innings. I know there was a tornado in Kansas City, so it was pouring down rain for a bit, and they eventually just called it. Good call there. And that was the first game of the set. The Yankees took it 12-2. Again, that made it 7 in a row at the time. Game 2 of this series, the Yankees took this one a little differently. Just a 3-0 victory here in Kansas City. You had Garrett Cole going up against Carlos Hernandez. Top of the second inning, Yankees on the board first. IKF grounds into a double play, but a run does score. Better than the strikeout. 1-0 Yankees. Top of the third comes Gleyber Torres, a sacrifice fly. It's 2-0 Yankees. Top of the fourth comes IKF again, this time with a sac fly. 3-0 Yankees. There wasn't much to this game. A couple of sac flies and a double play. I guess they manufactured their runs. 3 runs on 8 hits. 8 walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 for 9 in scoring position, 2 sac flies. Rizzo caught stealing. Gallo left the game hurt. He's going to be out a bit. Speaking of the sac fly, I saw a stat. Who's the chick that always tweets the stats and stuff? Man, I'm drawing a blank. Katie Sharp. She tweeted about the Yankees having 0 sac flies last year in their first 21 games. This season, they've got 8 in their first 21 games, which is insane. They had 8 in their first 21 games at the time. Yeah, that was cool. Torres, Hicks, and Gallo. Obviously they all bat consecutively. They were 6 for 7 combined. A couple of walks in there. Garrett Cole, second consecutive excellent start. We'll talk about him later when we do the progress reports. 6 innings pitched, no runs, 6 strikeouts. Then we went Castro, Holmes, and Chapman. That was fine. Back in the yes booth for this game, you had Flaherty and Beltran the final 2 games. Carlos, listen, I talked about it his first time through when the Yankees were who were they playing at the time? Was it Toronto? I don't know. His first time in the booth last time out. A little nervous, talking a lot. Or didn't talk a lot at all. His first time in the booth, he didn't talk at all. He was just awkward, and he said a lot of cliches, and he just, said the obvious things. This time, I actually felt he was a little better. I thought he actually got a little more comfortable. Flaherty did the play-by-play. A lot of people think he's a bit boring. He is. He's very monotone. I do like him. I do like Flaherty because he's one of the few in the yes booth, in my opinion, that's always going to shoot it straight. On the post-game show, I like Curry. He does a nice job, but at times I feel like he doesn't say it straight. Lorenz is he's Lorenz. He's just the host and all that, company boy. But I like Flaherty a lot. I get he's boring. I don't mind his takes. I like what he has to say. It comes in a monotone way, but the things he says I do agree with. I tend to agree with very often. But yeah, it was an interesting booth. George Brett joins them a little later in the game. They were just kind of casually talking. I don't know. It was fun. But yeah, the Yankees took that one 3-0. Again, not much to really add outside that. It was a quiet game, but they found their way to win. Let's get to game 3. So in this one, the third game of the set, the Yankees win 6-4. You had Severino going up against Lynch on Sunday here. Top of the first inning, Judge, I think it was a 9 or 10 pitch at bat. Waiting on the fastball. Finally gets 1-0 Yankees because Judge cracks one deep, 453 feet to dead center. Bottom of the third, Royals put up a 3 spot. It's 3-1. Kansas City, their first lead of the entire series. Bottom of the fifth, though, the Yankees start climbing back when IKF gets the RBI double. Then DJ LeMahieu with an RBI single to put IKF home. It's 4-3. The Yankees down by 1. Severino ends up going 5. 4 innings, 4 runs allowed, 3 of them earned, 4 strikeouts. He wasn't great. Hasn't been great statistically last couple of outings, but hasn't been terrible. Judge, ground ball later on to tie the game at 4. Donaldson in the top of the 7th, the fielder's choice with the RBI to put the Yankees up 5-4. Then you got Judge going up again in the 9th inning. This time his second home run, 6-4. And that was it. You had Schmidt, Litke, King, and Chapman. They did the job. Clark Schmidt optioned after this game because of the roster cuts. Offensively, the Bats, again, produced 6 runs, 8 hits, 7 strikeouts. Not the greatest offensive outing. A lot of stranded runners. We're 1 for 8 in scoring position. We had that 1 inning. We had first and second, nobody out. You have 3 consecutive pop-ups. Brutal. You had, Glaber going into a double play 1 inning. The positive, you had Miggy come up. His first start of the year, he gets 2 hits. Unfortunately, he's also optioned after the game because of the roster cuts that, we have to cut it down to 26 in May. But other than that, I thought it was a good win. Great job finding a way to 6 runs even when they don't have it. I think that's something we do not do last season. Again, finding a way to win the getaway game. That's huge. So those are the first 3 games. Those are the only 3 games of this series. The Yankees sweep, and it's just great. It's good to see the Yankees clicking. Guys look great. IKF is finally settled in. He had a good series. He's one of our featured players of this series. Isaiah Kainer Falefa. This series in 3 games, he goes 3 for 9, which I believe is 421. 2 singles and a double, 2 RBIs, a strikeout, 2 walks. And he's, if I did the math correctly on Baseball Reference earlier, reached base safely in 13 consecutive games. Yeah, man, his bat-to-ball skills are terrific. Having a guy like that who can contribute without hitting the home run, literally without hitting the home run, is a perfect bottom-of-the-order bat to have. My only qualm, and I talk about this all the time with my brother, is I would love to see the Yankees put IKF in the 9 spot and have the catcher 8. This way, IKF is kind of, in a way, back-to-back with LeMahieu, and I think that can be lethal. And it's not like it'd be a righty-lefty difference because the 2 catchers we have at 8 are right-handed. So it's just something to think about if I'm Boone. But yeah, IKF has been great. His contact skills I love. His shortstop is okay. It's nothing great. The double pumps kind of bother me at times. But I just love his bat right now, and I think if he can continue to hit like he's hitting, he might have a career year. And I said with a couple of my buddies heading into the year, don't be surprised if IKF is, at least top 2 in hits on the Yankees. And if he can hit 280, 290, I don't know. It's possible. Last couple of seasons, he's hit for a decent average, so maybe it comes. So I like the series from him. I like what he's been doing for a while now. Aaron Judge, big series. He played in 2 of these games. He went 3 for 9 with all home runs, 6 RBIs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Has homered 5 times in his last 5 games. He's really hot at the moment. Started the season rather quiet. Now he's extremely hot. He's taking the breaking pitches, waiting for the fastball, again going to dead center, going the other way to right center with that approach a lot. He's always had that in him. He wants that contract. He's got 8 home runs now, 16 RBIs. He's got a 300 batting average, which has always been in the back of my mind. Can Aaron Judge have a season where he bats 300? I thought, it would be awesome. I'm not asking for it. I'm not expecting him to do it. He'll sit 280 something, but just seeing 300 next to Judge's name, it just looks right. It just looks like it fits. So it'd be something really cool. It'd be a cool little, fun accomplishment if Judge could bat 300. But don't expect it. I just think it's pretty cool right now, and he's having a really good season. Again, we'll get to him a little bit in a second when we do these progress reports. But yeah, the bats look solid. We're still scoring runs. We drew 15 walks this series. That's 5 a game. The pitching continues to be locked down. The Yankees now, I think after game 2, they have now 3 shutouts on the season. The only team with more shutouts on the season is the Mets with 5. So yeah, their bats have been great. They finally heated up. Their pitching all season has been fantastic, and I think we might as well just get right into the progress reports. Let's get to break, and when we return, we'll go over the entire roster, and we'll go over these progress reports, hand them out, and that'll be that for the show. Stay with us though. We're gonna head to a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get into this. Be right back. Welcome back to the show, episode 362 of BD4. I'm your host, RJ. We actually forgot to mention Cole as the featured pitcher of the series. You know how we usually have 2 featured players of each series, position players, then we have 1 featured starting pitcher. IKF and Judge being the 2 featured position players. And Garrett Cole, is going to be our featured starting pitcher of this series. In Game 2, he went 6 innings, no runs, 6 strikeouts, a couple walks, 5 hits, 4 singles, and a double allowed. Has allowed no runs in his last 2 starts, 12 and 2/3 innings. Also notable, his last 2 starts have been with Jose Trevino. Now, Aaron Boone is currently saying that's not something he's going to try to make. Let me rephrase that. Aaron Boone is currently saying he's not going to try and make that a thing like he did with Higgy. But we'll see. Sometimes in baseball, you like to ride with those superstitions, the hot hands and things like that. So we'll see what happens with those 2. I don't like the personal catcher idea. But if it's working right now, I'm not going to hate it if I see Trevino out there the next time Cole pitches. But hey, let's get to these progress reports, man, because we've got some things to say. I figure we'll start with Cole. We'll start with the starting pitchers, the 5 starting pitchers. Then we'll make our way to the lineup, the starting lineup, and then we'll figure. I figure we end it with the bullpen, each reliever, and then the last slide, I guess, in this, if you're watching the podcast, will be the last grade will be given to the Yankees as a team. All right. So Garrett Cole on the year, I decided to give Garrett Cole a B. I decided to give him a B because in 5 starts this year, he's 2-0 with a 3.00 ERA, 24 innings pitched, 18 hits allowed, 27 strikeouts, 7 walks, and a hit by pitch. Yeah, I mean, he started very slow. Obviously, his first 3 starts were not what you wanted. Tribute to Girardi there. They weren't. I mean, he had a hard time, keeping traffic off the bases and keeping runs. It wasn't even that he was getting hammered in terms of runs. He just wasn't giving them distance because everything he had to work to get. Granted, he fought some tough weather in Detroit. I'll give you that, but it wasn't a good start to the season. His ERA was over 6 heading into Game 2 of this series, but he figures it out. Now his last 2 starts have been very sharp, very Garrett Cole-like outings, and again, 6 innings the other night, 6.2 yesterday, and no runs in each of those starts. He's striking batters out. He's got that confident rhythm, working quickly, getting right back on the mound, looking like Garrett Cole. He's doing the strut when he gets a strikeout. He just looks like he's got confidence. He looks like he's in a better spot mentally. People wanted to make a whole thing about the back of his uniform, his pants, his pant leg. He kept going to it. I thought it was just dirt. I don't think he's that stupid to be doing that after that whole thing. I think you have to be incredibly dumb to do that. So I didn't make anything from that. I really just think it's dirt. It's mud. They rub the baseballs in mud now. I don't know. That was a little ridiculous for people to be making a big thing out of. And again, he goes out and shows that he can do it the next start. Game 2 in Kansas City. So he's been great lately. He just hasn't been great all year. But the good thing is his last 2 outings have gotten that ERA. It literally cut it in half to 3. So he's got Garrett Cole-like numbers now. And so a B when you consider everything for Garrett Cole. Moving on to Severino. I think a B- is pretty fair for Severino. He's 2-0 across 5 starts. A 3.75 ERA now. 24 innings pitched. 24 hits allowed. 23 strikeouts, which is a little low for a guy like Sevy. But 7 walks and 1 hit by pitch. I think he's been okay. Yeah, I think he's been good. Definitely above average, and I think he's been better than I expected him to be. I really didn't think he'd be this good to start the season. I don't think he's been amazing. I don't think he's been better than, excuse me. I guess you could say he's been better or the same as Cole, so maybe this is a little overgrade, but I don't know. His last couple starts have kind of been meh. Now, the 1-2 starts ago, he looked a lot better than his final line looked. But at the end of the day, those 4 runs were on him. So he's been okay. He looks good. I think as the season goes on, we're going to get more of a testament to how good Sevy can be this year. I like the fact that he was throwing 90 pitches today. They're trying to build up his arm strength, which is a positive. No more babying him. So we're going to see where it goes, but I think he's off to a pretty good start. Nothing more. Certainly nothing less. Jordan Montgomery, once considered a number 5 pitcher for me, has really, really, really pitched good. Through 4 games this year, he's 0-1 with a 270, 20 innings pitched, 14 hits allowed, 15 strikeouts on the year, 5 walks, and 3 hit batters. I give him a B+. I think Montgomery has been very consistent. When you take away his first start of the year, Game 3 against Boston, he's been very sharp outside that. He's been very consistent. You know what you're getting. And it's not his fault that Aaron Boone puts him on a bit of a short leash at times. But I like, he's Montgomery. He's a lefty southpaw guy. He's going to mix it up. Big bag of pitches. Likes to throw the cutter. Multiple variations of the fastball. Changes eye levels. And he's kind of got, like I've mentioned before, a little bit of an intensity to him. And that we like. So Jordan Montgomery, I've given a B+. I think he's been very sharp. Jameson Taillon, give him a B. Through 4 games, he's 1-1 with a 3.26, 19 and a third innings pitched, 22 hits allowed, 17 strikeouts, a couple of walks, and a hit batter. He's throwing strikes. He's attacking the zone. Throwing the cutter. The changeup looks good. I like what Taillon has done. I think Taillon's a good pitcher. I thought it was a good trade. He's worked out pretty nice so far. Yeah, I actually like watching him. I kind of look forward to some of his starts. If he can give a little more distance, a couple more 6-inning outings, that'd be nice. 5+. But not a bad start for Jameson Taillon. Got to give the guy a B. Excuse me. And now for our ace. The absolute ace of this staff, who I cannot critique anything that this man is doing. 4 games in, Nestor Cortes gets an A from me. Now let me say this to get it out of the way. These grades, just like I do with the Knicks, if you follow me when I talk about the Knicks on this podcast, these grades are based off of the player's own expectations. So not everybody is graded on the same scale. Okay, I'll say that one more time. Not every player is graded on the same scale. So somebody having a higher grade than another guy doesn't exactly mean he's been better than that guy. He's just been performing up to his expectation better than the other guy has been performing up to his. But Nestor gets an A. I mean, he's really been the best pitcher on the staff regardless. He's 1-0 with a 131, 20.2 innings pitched, 14 hits allowed, 28 strikeouts, 3 walks, no hit batters. Excuse me. I don't know what to say. He's been great. He's been fantastic. I have no qualms about Nestor. He's just been so good. He's hilarious, and he just works quick, mixes it up with the delivery, changes eye levels, paints the black a lot, and a guy that doesn't need to throw 95 to 99, but can still get outs because of how creative he is, and persistent, I think is a good word to describe Nestor Cortes. I mean, you look at that dive to first base to get the out he had in a game in April, so it's like, wow, this guy really wants it. You gotta love him. So Nestor undoubtedly has performed like an A-grade pitcher so far this season. Let's get to the lineup. Yeah, man, Aaron Judge. Let's start with Judge. We'll go from right field, and we'll work our way around the diamond. I gave Aaron an A. A-. Sorry, I gave him an A- across 21 games. I mean, I think you can't complain. Again, got off to a quiet start to his standard, but he was never bad. He was always having a good year. Now it's turned into a fabulous year. These last couple weeks he's been swinging the bat much better. He's batting .300. He's got an OPS of 1.027. 5 doubles, 8 home runs, 16 RBIs. Power numbers are there. He's got 8 walks, 24 strikeouts, and a stolen base in there. He's playing great right field defense. Continues to play defense. He's sliding over to center field when he's asked to, and that's a difficult task to do. But he does it as a guy who's 6'8", 250. I think he's 280. But yeah, Aaron Judge, 6'7", 280 on Baseball Reference, has been phenomenal. And he's showing that he's a 5-tool player. He has hitting skills. Yeah, he strikes out a lot, but I consider him as one of the few Yankees who can actually hit. Right? When you talk about guys who can actually hit, you think about Judge. And there's a few others on this team who we're going to get to, but Judge is one of those guys who can actually hit. You know, he's got a good approach at the plate. Looks for right center. And is a guy who isn't just your typical slugger because he can run, play defense, power, contact. He's got everything. So Aaron Judge, I got to give it an A- too. Let's go to our DH/outfielder, Giancarlo Stanton. across 21 games. A bit of an inconsistent start. He gets a B, though. 256 batting average, an OPS just a tick under 700, which isn't Stanton-like. A double, 4 homers, 14 RBIs, 4 walks, 28 strikeouts, no stolen bases yet. I think he's been fine. No complaints too much. Just, listen, Stanton is going to be streaky. He's going to have his good weeks. He's going to have his bad weeks. He's going to be off and on. That's the kind of hitter he is. Jesus, it's late, guys. I can't talk. That's the kind of hitter he is. But I think at the end of the day, Giancarlo Stanton's going to have another season where he hits you 250, 260, 270, 35-plus bombs. And his OPS will be 850, give or take. That's who he is. He's a streaky power hitter, and he's going to be that. And I have no... I'm not going to give him anything worse or better than a B. I think he's been good. Good. He's had some bad moments. He's had some really good moments. So I think a B is probably a fair grade for Giancarlo. I don't think he's been a problem in the outfield at all either. So let's get to our pal. Let's get to Joey. Because Joey Gallo, through 21 games, yes, he's batting 250 with an OPS over 800 in his last, 8 games or so. Let's be honest, man. He came here to be a power hitter. We knew he wasn't going to hit for average. We knew he was going to strike out a lot. So I guess this grade is a little harsh. If I said I'm going to grade based off their own expectations. But an F. I mean, you can't bat 180. You can't have an OPS in the 500s and, take all season basically up to a couple of days ago to get your first RBI, your first extra base hit, and not get an F. And you're not even playing that great defense. You were supposed to be a Gold Glove left fielder, and he hasn't played that much to that caliber in left field. So 180 batting average, a 570 OPS, 1 double, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 8 walks, 29 strikeouts, and no stolen bases. He has not been good, let's be honest. For the majority of the season, he has been absolutely dreadful, absolutely pathetic, and completely horrifying when he takes the plate to the Yankees. He's just been terrible. He's putrid. He sucks right now. Now, I do think he's going to get better in terms of his power. I think if he's healthy, he can still figure out a way to hit 30-plus home runs. The batting average might be anywhere from 180 to 200 to 215 or something like that. That's just who he is. I'm not a fan of that style, but right now, he's batting 180 with 2 home runs 1 month through. That's not good. That's not decent. That's not bad. That is horrifyingly bad, if that's even a friggin' word. That's horrifying. That's horrible. That's terrible. Come here for power, right? We know you're not going to make contact, so you must have that power. 2 home runs in April. Not going to do it when you're batting 180. So I don't see how you can give him anything better than an F. Oh, let's get more positive, though. Let's go to center field and talk about Aaron Hicks, who's actually been overachieving, in my opinion. 18 games he's played, and I gave him a B-. I think he's been good. 283 batting average, 740 OPS. He's got a home run, 4 RBIs, has 10 walks. Aaron Hicks is going to go up there and hunt for those walks. 11 strikeouts only, and 2 stolen bases. Playing some good defense, and he's at the plate. He's going to bring you plate discipline, some patience, and occasional power from the left or right side of the plate. I think Hicks has been good. I'm happy that he's back, that he's not in the leadoff spot anymore. I think that was good for the time being, but he's a good guy who can, when you give DJ a night off, you can slide Hicks up there at the top. But I like him where he is. So I think he's had a decent season, and he's performing well. I can't really criticize him too much. Going to the infield now. Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo has been the Yankees' best player this year. I don't think there's much debate there. I give Anthony Rizzo an A. You're not going to see me hand out A pluses often, guys. So, A is usually as high as I'll go. And he gets an A. 22 games in, he gets an A. Batting .269 with a 1.061 OPS. 4 doubles on the year, 9 home runs on the year, 21 RBIs on the year, 11 walks, 14 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. What else can I say? He's playing excellent first base defense. He's a great first baseman. He makes a ton of contact at the plate because he's got such a good approach. Changes up his, mechanics or, timing mechanisms, moves up in the box, chokes up, all those types of things versus lefties, count situations, hits for power, abuses the short porch. He's been so productive, and I cannot hate on anything Anthony Rizzo has done. I think he's performing extremely well. Now, do I think, again, I don't think he's going to continue to lead, the American League in OPS or be a top OPS guy. I think he's going to, at the end of the day, he's not going to keep this pace up, but he's going to be great. I think he's going to be just fine so long as he's healthy. Anthony Rizzo has been such a blessing for this Yankees team. It just makes you think if we had him for a little longer, what this Yankees team could have done. We were so stuck with Voit for so long, and we thought that was good. Anthony Rizzo is just miles better in my opinion. When you consider he's everything you want from a ball player, So, great job for Anthony Rizzo so far. It was a hell of a first month. He definitely deserves an A. Gleyber Torres. Gleyber, through 20 games this year, I gave him a C-. Batting .222. His OPS is .658. He's got 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs, so that's pretty cool. 9 RBIs, 3 walks, 12 strikeouts, and no stolen bases yet. He's okay at second base. He's not been a problem there. He looks more comfortable. I'll give him that. I'll also give him the fact that he's making contact. And I'll give him credit that because he's coming through. And he's come through in some clutch situations. I just wish that his focus would remain what it does in the clutch and every other at-bat as well. And that's one of the reasons that Gleyber hasn't exactly had a good season, is because he doesn't always bring that mentality to the plate. Soft contact, pop-ups, chasing out of the zone, weak ground balls at times. Opening up his swing, a lot of moving parts. His upper body's moving a lot. His head's pulling out. I don't know, man. I've talked about it before. Maybe they should send him down, retool his swing. But, he has hit a little bit better lately. Ever since that walk-off, he's actually hit a lot better. Today, he did go over. But on the year, I think I got to give Gleyber a C-. Going to shortstop, IKF, Isaiah Kainer Falefa, through 20 games this year, I give him a B. Maybe it's a little harsh. 303 batting average, 721 OPS, 5 doubles, 7 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 12 strikeouts, 5 walks, 12 stolen bases. Jesus Christ, I'm so tired. 5 walks, 12 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. Got through it. Yeah, man. He's been good. I like him. We talked about him enough, when we just talked about him as the featured player of this series, so I don't want to, I really don't have anything else to add there. Playing defense, making contact. There you go. I love him at the bottom of the order. I love him as a bottom of the order, high contact hitting bat, and I think he'll be great as the season goes on too. I really do think he could have a career year in this lineup. I think that's very possible for Isaiah Kainer Falefa. So B for him. A- to DJ LeMahieu. 21 games in, he's got a .299 batting average, so he's slumping a little bit lately. An 814 OPS, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts, no stolen bases. I actually think the numbers he's got right now are more realistic numbers for DJ LeMahieu. I don't think he's going to bat 370 again. What we saw from him most of this season, I don't think you're going to see that because he was on fire for a bit. But right now, 299, 814 OPS is very realistic for DJ, and I would take that. I would. I mean, I think he's a very good baseball player, kind of like Rizzo. Plays defense, but he can move around the entire infield. First base, second base, third base. And he is a very high contact bat coming up in the clutch. Had another RBI today because he hits so well with runners in scoring position. And he's just clutch. And he's the smart, high IQ hitter that you like. And he's the perfect leadoff man for this team. And I've got nothing but positives to say about DJ. Great second baseman and holds his own for sure on the corners as well. So DJ gets an A- from me. And let's go to Josh Donaldson. Now Donaldson, I have a C- through 21 games, 208 batting average. The OPS has gotten up to 706 because he's hitting a little more lately. 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. 14 walks, 23 strikeouts, and no stolen bases. Don't expect that number to jump up anywhere. C-, yeah, I don't think he's hit very well. He's striking out a lot. The things he's doing well is hitting the ball hard, a lot of line drives, hence the 5 doubles. He sees good pitches. He sees his pitches well, and he's able to draw a lot of walks. So that's a positive. And he's also playing very sharp, very good third base defense. Yes, some miscues lately, but overall, good defensively. You like to think that the hitting will eventually come around to some degree. And to his credit, lately, again, it has. He was sitting around $190 something for the entire season, batting up to 208 now. The OPS is at least heading towards average with 706. So maybe it's a sign that he's going to turn it around and maybe he's due for a hot streak. He's going into Toronto. We got the Blue Jays, his former team, coming up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So something to look forward to. Maybe he's warming up at the right time. But right now, Josh Donaldson, again, the defense, walks, line drive hits, had a couple of clutch moments for us. Not enough to really give him more than the C-. Let's go to behind the plate. Now, again, these are based off these players' own expectations. So, Jose Trevino, I think, has played like a C+. It feels weird. I was going to give him like a B-, but it feels weird giving him a B-. 10 games so far, 208 batting average, 519 OPS, a double, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 1 stolen base. Who cares? He's here for his defense, and I think his catching has been good. He's calling a good game. Again, he's working with Garrett Cole pretty well, and I think he's handled the pitching staff well, and I think he's actually done a better job defensively as a catcher than Kyle Higashioka has this year. But Trevino gets a C+. He's been okay, nothing more. Kyle Higashioka, Higgy's been, I give him a C. Maybe I should have been a little worse because his hitting is dreadful. But I think he plays good defense, and maybe lately maybe he's turning it around. I don't know. He's not been that good. But again, I didn't expect Higgy to really hit much. So it's kind of hard at the same time to give him anything worse than a C, just because I didn't expect his average or OPS to be super high. But the 386 OPS is ugly. And I did make one prediction that kind of looks a little bad now. I was saying that Higgy has a chance to hit 15 home runs this year for the Yankees. Well, he's got 0, and it's May 2nd as this podcast is out. So maybe I should have went a little worse than C. Thinking about it now. Let's get to the bullpen. Chad Green out of the pen, 9 games this year, 1-1 with the 386, 9.1 innings pitched, 10 hits allowed, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, no hit batters. A B+. I think he's been good. He had a couple of mishaps. He had that bad performance, giving up the big long ball in the clutch there a couple nights ago. Other than that, maybe 2 outings in a row where he gave up a couple of runs. That's it. He's been very sharp. I like what Chad Green has done. I can only wish he would learn a new pitch or at least attempt to throw that changeup more often. But at this point in his career, what do they say? Can't teach an old dog new tricks or some shit like that. B+. Chad's been good. Clay Holmes has been beyond good. He's been very sharp, very excellent. 11 games in, he's 1-0 with a .84 ERA, 10.2 innings, that is, 7 hits allowed, 11 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a hit batter. He has been one of their top weapons. He's got filthy stuff. That sinker he throws is incredible. He could be our new Zach Britton from the right as a righty. Not much else to add. I think Clay Holmes has been great. Miguel Castro, I gave him a B+. 10 games so far, he's been good. He hasn't had that blow-up game yet that, Orioles fans and Mets fans have told us is coming. 2-0, 2.16 ERA, 8.1 innings pitched, 5 hits, 7 strikeouts, 7 walks, a hit batter. Again, he's a high-velocity guy. He's got some good stuff. Lanky pitcher. At times it's going to be control and command. I think the Yankees recognized he was more of a one-pitch pitcher when they tried going 2 innings with him once, and that was his only bad outing of the year so far. So he's mostly going to be pitched, as a 1 inning and less guy. In, with his control and command issues, I prefer he pitch in medium to low leverage situations for now. But Castro has been good, a B+ for sure. Johnny Lasagna has not been so great. 10 games in, he's 0-1 with a 6 ERA, 9 innings, 8 hits, 9 strikeouts, 5 walks, and no hit batters. I gave him a C+, just because he's had some up and down outings. He's not been the same with his control. Hasn't really just found any rhythm. Doesn't look like he's moving with any kind of rhythm out there. No flow to him. I still believe in his stuff. I think he's good enough to where he can turn it around. But right now, Lasagna has not performed great, but instead has been more average to slightly above average. Lucas Licky. 10 games in, Licky I gave a B-. 1-0 with the 470, 7.2 innings, 9 hits, 10 Ks, 4 walks, 1 hit batter. Lefty specialist comes in. I think he's done his job pretty well. Him too, a couple of mishaps in there, but other than that, I think Licky's been pretty decent. I got to run through these last few because I'm tired. Michael King, 7 games in this season, Michael King has been excellent. He's been their best reliever, and it's not been close. As good as Holmes has been, King has been so good. That 2-seam sinker, whatever you want to call it, has been phenomenal. He's 2-0 with a .61 ERA, 14.2 innings pitched, just 10 hits, 22 strikeouts, only 3 walks, no hit batters. Multiple innings guy. Has been so good, multiple innings in relief. You wonder what he looks like as a starter, but at the same time, you don't want to ruin that. So I like him where he is. I think King's been great. Definitely deserves the A from me. Wandy Peralta, 7 games in, 2.45 ERA. Doesn't have a decision yet. 7.1 innings, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, no hit batters. A B+. I think Wandy's been good. Good lefty veteran comes in and has pitched in a fair amount of high leverage spots too, and he's gotten it done. All reliable. Aroldis Chapman, speaking of all reliable, 11 games in. He kind of got off to a shaky start. It never affected the ERA because the guys after him got it done. But, he's got 6 saves and 6 opportunities. Has pitched 11 games. No ERA. 0. 9.1 innings, 3 hits, 11 strikeouts, 7 walks, no hit batters. I give him an A-. As weird as that sounds, because I feel like he's had some rough outings. Hard to give anybody with a 0 ERA anything worse than that. I think Chapman's been very good. Other than that couple of outings at the top of the season, he's really found it lately. No qualms with him yet. I'm sure I will as the season goes on because he's Chapman, but Yeah, that's it. We went through the roster. Now let's get to the Yankees as a team. We'll grade them as a team, and then we'll wrap this one up because I'm tired, guys. 22 games in to the season, the Yankees are 16-6. They've won 9 in a row. Have a .727 win percentage overall. Are currently first place. And 1.5 games up on the Toronto Blue Jays. How do you not give them an A? You know, again, I don't hand out A pluses. So if you're looking for an A plus, you're not getting it from me. Go somewhere else. Listen, they've been phenomenal. How can I complain? The only problem with them this year has been losing that series to the Orioles. That's it. Every other series they've won, and they also have that split with Toronto, which, okay. I've got no complaints about the Yankees this year. I can't. Like I said at the top of the show, guys, if I'm going to complain about them and whine and yell and moan like an angry 55-year-old with his fist in the air, then I'm going to give them credit at the same time when they win games. All right? I'm not a negative fan. That's why I always say I'm a realist, not a pessimist. When you actually pay attention to me, I am fair. If you follow me, keep up with the podcast here, I am plenty fair. So I think I'm going to have this on record now. I think the Yankees have been exceptional this season so far, okay? Exceptional. We'll be right back, and we're going to end the show. Yankees get an A from me. Stay with us. Be right back. Hey guys. So I've noticed that only a small portion of you who watch BD4 on YouTube are actually subscribed. So if you do enjoy this podcast, and maybe you want to be notified when new episodes release, I'd consider subscribing and also hitting that notification bell. This way, we can help the channel grow, and you won't miss a single episode of BD4. All right, let's get back to it. So, if you guys want to follow me on social media, be sure to do so right now. I'm on Facebook at rjcarbone, and I'm also on Instagram at rjcarbone. Once again, if you want to find me on Facebook, that is rjcarbone. Instagram at robjcarbone. All right, welcome back to the show. We're going to wrap this one up, guys. Episode 362. We'll wrap it up with the NYY-NYK-MMA Question of the day. All right, so this episode's NYY-NYK-MMA Question of the day for episode 362 is, which Yankee pitcher was nicknamed the chairman of the board? Which Yankees pitcher was nicknamed the chairman of the board? All right, I'll say it one more time. Which Yankees pitcher was nicknamed the chairman of the board? And let me know the answer wherever you can reach out to me. Let me know. If you get the answer correct, I will give you a shout out on the next episode. If you get it incorrect, but at least attempt to guess the answer, I'll let you know what the answer is on the next show in 363. All right, guys, so thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And like I said, that's going to be it, because I'm tired as hell. So a nice 9-game win streak so far. We're beating up on the bad teams, but now the vibes change a bit. It's going to be intense. A big test series this week. There's going to be some energy in it. It's an away series in Toronto. I hate that place. It gives me nightmares. PTSD, all of that. But the Yankees are currently 1.5 games up. We are without Cole and Severino, obviously, this series. But they're also without Kevin Gausman and Jose Barrios. So both teams without their two top-notch pitchers. But it's going to be a good one. And it's good that Judge and Rizzo can now play, right? Being they got the juice. So, yeah, there's just a different energy right now with this Yankees team, and I like it. And I really do think Rizzo has a lot to do with that. He just seems like he's a great clubhouse veteran. He's well-liked around the league. Everybody knows about that. But, yeah, good start to the year. Again, I've got no complaints at all. So, that'll do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor. It's the best way to make a podcast. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm.